Okay, thank you everybody for joining today. So this is Wellness and Circle Roundtable Talk. And today we'll be talking about the root causes of perimenopause or menopause. We actually did the overview of menopause few months ago. I want to believe it's 1 or 2 months ago. And it was very interactive and great. So we just want to continue from there, from where we stopped the last time. We'll have several topics on menopause because, a majority of us are in that, going towards that age or that stage in life. And we don't have much guidance on what to do and how to. So before I go ahead, I want to quickly run an overview of what what Wellness and Circle Roundtable Talk is about. So I'm going to share a screen with you here. One second here. Share. So let me know if you can see my slide.
I can.
Okay, thank you. So here, go ahead. Do you have somebody?
I can see, I see.
Okay, thank you. Thank you so much. So here's Wellness and Circle Roundtable Talk platform, where we'll be bringing different kind of topics here once in a while. I still haven't decided if it's going to be every month or every other month, but for the collaboration with Dames Hub is going to be every month for now, which is going to be on menopause and some other women's stuff. So here is what Wellness and Circle is all about. And today I'm hosting you, and I have my beautiful friend Valentina co-hosting today. There will be days that she will be the host and I will co-host. So we'll switch things around. So what is Roundtable Talk? So Roundtable Talk is just a discussion platform where participants agree to speak on specific topic, where we can discuss a whole lot of stuff without, being afraid of being criticized or being judged. So you can view your opinion and at the same time view somebody else's opinion without punching each other or, arguing about stuff. And I always talk about Valentina here. I've known her now for almost 5 decades. We have our argument. We do talk. We do disagree and agree and stuff. When she doesn't agree with me, she tells me straight to my face, like, BK, I don't agree with you. I disagree with your opinion, and that's okay. And vice versa. When I don't agree with her, I say the same. I tell her the same thing, letting her know that, hey, I don't agree with your opinion, and she's okay with it as well. And does that mean she wouldn't come in the next morning and just, scream on my butt? She will, and that is called maturity. So, and that is what Roundtable Talk is all about. So who is sponsoring the program today is Wellness and Circle and Dames Hub. So Wellness and Circle is a website, or I would say a platform that I created, and Dames Hub is a platform that Valentina created. We will be learning more about this as we go on with all this roundtable talks and stuff. So if you still have questions on Wellness and Circle, please, you can send me an email at wellnessandcircle@gmail.com. Visit my website at wellnessandcircle.com. You can contact me on any of my social media at Wellness and Circle. And also I have my US number at 763-200-6557. And at the same time, if you have anything on menopause, have anything on women wellness, please contact Valentina at dameshub@gmail.com. dameshub.com is the website, and any of our social media at Dames Hub. I will stop sharing here. Then we'll go back into the topic. So today's topic is going to be the root cause of menopause. There are so many root causes. It all depends on you, who you are. Your root cause may be different from mine may be different from yours, and vice and many more. So today Valentina will be telling us the stages of menopause. We're going to pick just 3 causes today, then we can just expand on that as we go further in the program, every other month. But today we're just going to focus on 3. I mean, three of them, which is the genetics, the hormonal imbalance, and also the surgery part of the root cause of menopause. So I want to welcome everybody here today again. And if there are men within us here joining, thank you all for coming over here. I appreciate you coming in and joining us here so you can learn something. At least you can be able to guide your wife or your partner during this process of transition into menopause. Because, so when we start acting kind of, agitated, the reason why. When we start being snappy, the reason why. So you wouldn't hold it against, you wouldn't hold this against us. Or when we just sleep one day and my leg is on, your partner's leg is on the wall, she's not a witch, it is menopause. So just so you know that. So Valentina, I'm gonna have you start today's topic, which is, I just want to quickly share here, which is stages of menopause. So Valentina, I'm going to have you first introduce yourself because I don't think I introduced you properly. So please first introduce yourself, then just go ahead and start the stages of menopause. Then if you have a question, we're just going to accommodate 1 or 2 questions today because of a time frame that we have. Then we go to the next topic and the next topic. Okay, thanks, Valentina. So you can go ahead and start.
Hi, everybody. Thank you for joining. My name is Valentina Ibiroba Unaji. I'm a wellness and health coach focused mainly on women's health, but more on midlife stages. So once we getting into, well, I wouldn't say midlife, but really midlife. So once you're getting into like 35 and up, that's what my main focus is on right now. My platform is Dames Up, as GBK earlier said, and you can join us. Please follow us on Instagram. We're on Instagram, Twitter, Threads, YouTube, and Facebook at Dames Up. It's the same handle. And my email address, if you need to contact me, is at damesub@gmail.com. And then you can always send a DM on any of those platforms as well. So the stages of menopause, we have 3 stages. Actually, there are 4, but the 4th one is still being determined and discussed in the health sector. So there are 3 main stages of menopause that people know about. So when we talk menopause, it's not everybody that's actually in menopause. So when people hear the word menopause, they automatically think about, okay, I shouldn't be seeing my period anymore. Before you get to menopause, there's something called perimenopause. And this phase usually begins several years. You could be in your perimenopausal stage for up to 10 years. I've heard people that have been in there for 10 years. And so it usually occurs several years before menopause. And this is when your ovaries slowly make less estrogen. Estrogen is one of the hormones that we have as women. So perimenopause usually lasts until menopause, at which point your ovaries stop releasing eggs. So in the last 1 to 2 years of the stage, of the perimenopause stage, your estrogen levels falls drastically. And then many women have menopause, like severe menopause symptoms. So in perimenopause, there are symptoms as well that is similar to what you have in menopause. So that's perimenopause. That's before menopause. So you will still be seeing your period. It might be playing tricks on you, playing games. You see this week, you don't see this month, you don't see next month. You might have spots. There might be spottings some months. That's perimenopause. The second stage is menopause. And this is when it has been a year. You've gone 12 months, 12 straight months since you had a period. So when you stop seeing your period for 12 months at a stretch, then you are in your menopause stage. At this point, your ovaries have stopped releasing the eggs and they're making most of their own estrogen. So, and then of course, the symptoms are either severe or you've gotten used to it from perimenopause. The 3rd stage of menopause is the post-menopause. And these are the years after menopause. Of course, it's post, so it's the years after menopause. And at this point, when you're in your postmenopausal stage, good news, most of the symptoms actually ease off. So hot flashes, night sweats, most of the symptoms you have in perimenopause and menopause stage that make you so miserable and you think it's the end of the world actually ease off. But there's some health risks related to the loss of estrogen, because the loss of estrogen increases as you get older. So those are the 3 stages of menopause. Over to you, GPK.
I'm sorry, I always forget I'm always muted. I have a quick question for you, and the question is there a particular age that menopause or perimenopause is expected to start?
No.
Okay.
This is an individual thing.
Okay.
For instance, if you remember on our last roundtable talk, we had a participant that told us she got into menopause in her 30s.
Yes.
So it's an individual stage, and that's where we're going to the root causes. I didn't get into my perimenopause stage until I think I was 44, but I didn't realize it until I was 47. Mm-hmm. And I'm still in my perimenopausal stage. I'm not in menopause yet, so I can still make babies. For those that started calling me Mrs. Meno, I'm not in menopause yet. Be careful. I have a baby very soon. Who knows? So
in other words, you have a baby.
There's no age. There's no particular age. It's an individual thing. There's several things that induce menopause that either have it to be, there's some premature menopause. So for people that start menopause in their 30s, it's an early onset, which is premature. But typically, people look into their 50s. When they're talking about menopause, you're thinking about your 50s, really. Mid-50s, 60s, that's when most people have the seizure of the period for 12 straight months. So you can be in your perimenopause stage for, like I said, up to 10 years. I've spoken to people, I've interacted with people that they experience. I had a lady that she's a client. And on one of our sessions, encounters, she has been in a perimenopause stage for about 9 years, and she has about 25 symptoms. That was scary. 25 symptoms. So there's no age. It's an individual thing.
Okay, thank you so much for letting us know that. So I'm going to, we'll be asking, opening the floor for questions later. But I just want us to quickly go into all the root cause that we're discussing today first before we dive into the questions, so we can have enough time to accommodate, exactly the topic of today. So why Valentina is talking about the root causes of, or why she's letting us know the meanings of menopause, the perimenopause, the menopause, and the postmenopause, we have root causes. And like I said earlier when I started, the root causes for you may be different or will be different from me, based on different reasons. And one of the reasons, 3 of the reasons is what we're going to talk about today. So we're going to start with the genetics. So Valentina, I'm going to have you start all over again with genetics as one of the root causes. Why do you think this is one of the root causes? What are the expectations when you talk about genetics as part of the root causes of menopause or perimenopause?
So genetics is one of the root causes of menopause. So I always encourage women to talk to their mothers. For those that still have their moms around, talk to your moms and ask them questions. For one, I have noticed that most of the things that happen to my mom, I seem to get it. So when I discovered, well, don't let me say when I discovered, when my cousin, my younger cousin, because I still say she's actually online, Bisola, she was actually the one that brought it to me, my attention, like that you might be menopausal. When she stated it, I asked my mom, I said, Mommy, what age did you become menopausal? And my mom said, in her 40s. But later, while we were talking, she was actually in a perimenopause stage in her 40s because she was still seeing her period. Well, she started experiencing night sweats and hot flashes in her 40s. So many people, and that's why I made a point to define the stages of menopause before going into the root causes. So genetics is usually has a lot to do with medical issues. Just like cancer, for instance, if you look at the people that have cancer, they might have a genetical, it might be genetical. They might have had a mom, aunt, or somebody that had cancer in their family. And that's the same thing with menopause as well. Yeah, so that's it. That's really it. Genes has a lot to play with it.
And when you're talking about genetic, it doesn't only have to be your mom alone, but also your dad's side of a story of the gene, because now you have two genes in one in you. So it could be, what if your father's side, there's a particular way, or there's a particular symptoms that they go through or they have at your side of your dad's side, then at your mom's side it's different.
Well, when it comes to menopause, now we're going too deep, GBK. Because now you want me to XY chromosome, and I'm not ready for that today.
Okay. I'm just saying that the expectation is from both families, I'm thinking.
When it comes to menopause, it's actually more with on your mother's side and on your father's side. Because with your father, you get your testosterone from your father. You get your estrogen and your progesterone from your mom. Mm-hmm. So it's more on the maternal side of things when it comes to menopause with genetics.
Okay.
Yeah.
That sounds good. It was, the question just like came into my head. I'm like, let me just ask it.
Yeah. And it is a good, I mean, it's a good point. It really is a good point. But the males, they produce testosterone, which will produce as well. Mm-hmm. Because in my own case, my estrogen was low and my testosterone, my progesterone was good. And then you have some people that their estrogen and progesterone are very low when they do their tests. So, yeah.
Thank you for sharing that. And I hope we're all learning something today. So the next question is going to be not next question, the next root cause is going to be hormonal imbalance. So could you please talk about that too?
So before I go into hormonal imbalance, I'm going to like to state this. When we're talking about root causes of menopause, we have two main causes. There's the natural causes and there's the induced causes. Hormonal imbalance happens to fall under the natural cause. So with hormonal imbalance, each woman, each female has ovaries, I would hope. As we age, the ovaries slow down the egg release. The ovaries are what releases the eggs. That's how we make babies. So we have to have the ovaries intact for it to release the eggs for the production of babies. Now, so as we age, the ovaries slow down their egg release, which again is the production of the reproductive hormones, and that fluctuates. Mm-hmm. It fluctuates drastically during the menopausal transition, which is the perimenopause stage, until eventually setting permanently at a permanent low level in postmenopause. So as you get into that perimenopause stage, it goes drastically. And that's where you get all the symptoms, the night sweats, the hot flashes, itchiness, irritability, name it. We have about 10 pages of menopause symptoms. I've been lucky to experience, I think, just about 6.
More than 10.
About 10 pages. It's scary. So yeah. So when the ovaries slow down, the way they release the eggs, the production of the reproductive hormones fluctuates drastically. And this goes throughout perimenopause, menopause, and then it sets permanently at the very low level when it gets to post-menopause stage. Now, this hormonal imbalance, it usually occurs because the ovaries are the main producers of estrogen and progesterone. Mm-hmm. Because people wonder, where's the estrogen? Is it in my blood? Where's it coming? Is it water? What is it? What is estrogen? What is progesterone? Yes. Mm-hmm. So the ovaries are what produces our estrogen and progesterone. So you see why I say genetics has nothing to do with the male. Does that make sense now? So the estrogen and the progesterone are the key hormones that's responsible for orchestrating that and the entire menstrual cycle, which is vital to fertility. If we're not releasing eggs, we're not fertile to be able to produce babies. Is it adding up? So without the ovarian eggs, the hormonal cascade cannot continue. So once a woman, usually early to mid 40s, there's a low egg supply and the hormonal shifts begin, and it brings about the irregular periods. And that's when you hear, I had my period last month. I didn't have it this month. Am I pregnant? I think in perimenopause, for women that are sexually active, pregnancy tests actually sells a lot. So among all the other symptoms, such as the night sweats and the mood swings, so eventually the ovaries cease their monthly eggs release, and consequently the hormonal production. So at that point, we don't have any period anymore. We can't have any baby. We can't have babies naturally anymore. I mean, you can still have a baby if you do IVF and you have a womb. But if you want to have a baby naturally, if you're not producing eggs, obviously that's not going to happen. So when a menstrual cycle does not occur for 12 months again, 12 months in a row, a woman is said to have reached the natural menopause due to hormonal imbalance. But how do we know? Tests. You have to get the blood test done. So people getting into the perimenopause stage, getting into menopause doesn't mean that it's due to estrogen or progesterone loss. There might be some other things, but we'll go into that in the next topic you're about to hit on.
Okay. Well, thank you so much for explaining that. And like I said earlier, we will be taking questions later. I just wanted us to kind of dive into all of these courses first before we start taking questions, or if you have any suggestions, you can even share your experience too. But just bear in mind that we only have an hour for this program, and we have to accommodate those that that are a little bit hours ahead of us in Nigeria or West Africa, wherever they're watching from, that we have to consider, and even those in Europe, we have to consider them too. So the next root cause that we're going to talk about is surgery. So could you please also talk about that as well?
All right. Thank you, JBK. So surgery does fall under the induced cause because it's not natural. So menopause can occur as a result of a surgical intervention or a medical treatment. So in such cases, it's referred to as an induced menopause. And I know that you can, the case of someone that had that surgery and went straight into menopause. She didn't even go through her perimenopause stage. So what are the surgeries? Examples: if you have a complete hysterectomy, you might just go straight into menopause. So what is hysterectomy? It's a procedure when both the uterus and ovaries are removed, and this can induce your menopause because you don't have the ovaries. I mean, the lady doesn't have the ovaries anymore, so they're not producing eggs, they're not producing estrogen or progesterone. So some people will say it's induced and still natural, but it's not natural because it is induced because it was forced. It was a forced stop of the ovaries producing eggs and estrogen and progesterone. So also there are issues of cancer. If people that have cancer and surgery, it induces it. Menopause also can be caused due to chemotherapy or radiation therapy in cancer patients as well. So sometimes you have women that go through chemotherapy or radiation therapy, and then they just don't see their periods anymore. If this is done before they get into their 40s, 50s, it's premature menopause. And yeah, so there are factors that are toxic to the ovaries, which also can result in an early age of menopause if they have to remove it. Some of the surgeries are unavoidable. It has to be done. I've had someone that had a fibroid surgery and went straight into menopause, didn't go through perimenopause at all, seizure of periods, and that was it. So those are the root causes we will be discussing today. Now, before we move on, I would like to say this. It might come up in any of the questions, but let me just throw it out there. Menopause is not affected by race or tribe. It's not affected by social economic status. So it doesn't mean that, oh, you're not eating enough nutrients. I've not eaten chicken for the last 10 years. Has nothing to do with that. It's not affected by age. And it's not affected by the number of prior ovulations. So fertility has nothing to do with menopause. So, yeah.
And I think you just answered, there's a question in the chat that says, can aging also be considered as a cause of menopause?
Let me check this. Let me check the chat. No, age is not. Everybody's different. Like I mentioned earlier on, in our last, if you go on YouTube, on a Dames of YouTube or a Facebook page, you'll see the video. I think it's on Instagram as well. I had a clip on Instagram as well. On our last discussion roundtable, we had someone that went into menopause at 30. I think she said 35 or something. I think she was 35 when she went into
36,
menopause.
I believe. I think
something like that. She was in her 30s and she went straight into menopause. Yeah. So, and I'm 47. I'll be 48. GVK will be 48 next month, 2 months time. Wow. GVK, you're growing old though. Sorry. I'll be 48 in February. and I still haven't, I'm still not menopausal. I'm still in my perimenopause stage. And then you have someone in the 30s that's menopausal. And I have someone in the 50s that hasn't even started experiencing perimenopause symptoms at all. Still living life, still flying. So age has nothing to do about it. Yeah.
Wow. And that's amazing. That's really, really amazing. I mean, I'm still in my perimenopause journey as well, because I have some, symptoms that I'm experiencing, but I'm not really deep into it. I still have my period every month, which means I can get pregnant, but I don't wish to get pregnant.
I'm a good mom. I'm going to be the good mom. The first time I'm volunteering to be a good mother.
So if you have any questions, could you please put it in the chat or just raise your hand and I will call you to ask your question. You can use the reaction emoji to raise your hand and I will definitely have you open up your mic to ask questions. Or if you don't have any questions, I mean, if you can just type it in the chat, that would be awesome as well. So we can kind of talk about it. I see Dr. B. Please open up your mic and ask your question. Dr. B, your mic is, your mic is off.
Don't mind me, I'm so old school and I had to. Well done, girls. Valentina, well done. It's been a long time, no see, no hear. I just wanted to chip in a few things about estrogen. I mean, you've done perfect and you've done brilliantly, but I wanted to chip in the mental effects of estrogen as well. It's an all-important hormone that we never thought was that important. But especially around menopause and perimenopause, it does let us know just how important it is. So in addition to the symptoms of the period stopping, I'd like us to also know that it affects almost every part of the body. It affects the bones and it affects the joints. And so you find a lot of women who are going menopausal have creaky joints, they have pain in the morning when they get up, they have pelvic muscle pains. It affects the sexual organs as well. And that's why we have a lot of urinary tract infections, or even pain during lovemaking and after, because estrogen is important in the lining and the lubrication of all our sexual organs. But the most important I want to touch on today, which I was very excited when I heard you were telling this, because most times I talk about menopause, I will never shy from talking about the mental effects of estrogen. Estrogen is about the brain as well. It works in the brain as well. So you have a lot of menopausal women or perimenopausal women going into low mood, mood swings, depression. I was giving a talk on menopause one day, and a friend of mine got her aha moment because her mother went into menopause and became depressed, and nobody thought about menopause. Instead, all she was given was a lot of antipsychotic drugs, and she went on and on with psychiatrists for a long time before somebody pointed out that it was when she went menopausal that these things started to happen. So estrogen, and so a lot, and I'm sure you're going to come back to how we manage menopause, because managing menopause would involve managing a lot of things around what I've just talked about to give us that complete and holistic way of going about this unfortunate thing that has to befall every woman. Okay, so I'm just going to I'm going to pause there and let you continue this fantastic, well needed and well taken in topic. Well done, girls.
Thank you so much, Dr. B. We appreciate your contribution to this. I see we have another hand up here, and this is Cynthia. Could you please go ahead and ask your question?
Okay.
Okay, you're off. You're muted. Do you want to unmute? I can unmute you too. Let me see if I can.
Trying to unmute her.
Eh? I can help you unmute as well. So let's see here. I'll ask to unmute.
Unmute. Okay. Can you all hear me now?
Yeah, we can hear you now.
Oh, good afternoon. I'm so glad that I was able to join this beautiful discussing moment. When Sister Valentina was talking about menopause and men, and she kind of mentioned about somebody that had cancer, that they can go into menopause. I had a friend that the husband had cancer, that during that moment of cancer, and she got pregnant. So I don't know, does that, because I remember the guy was going through all those chemotherapy and everything, and I kind of like, is it that the chemotherapy increase our sperm, or I don't know. So if you can explain more about that, and I'll be so happy. Thanks for this beautiful topic. I learned a lot. I'm so glad that I'm in for this. Thanks.
Thank you so much for the question. So Valentina, do you want to answer that question?
Yeah. Hi, Cynthia. Thank you so much for joining, and thanks for always supporting us. So it's the man that had cancer. It will not affect the reproduction of the woman. I'm not too sure if cancer affects sperm counts. I've heard it does, but I'm not sure. But again, this is where we go into God. Man is not God, because I've seen some hopeless situations, some situations that people thought was hopeless that actually became hopeful. And this is going to divert us out of here, but I'm just going to quickly say this. My situation was one. Having my son was a miracle. It was a hopeless. Daddy. Can you mute that woman?
Okay.
That's my nephew.
Okay.
Okay, please mute her.
Okay, I've muted her.
Sorry, everybody. So I'm not sure if I don't think.
Okay, go ahead now. I've muted her.
Okay. Something is going on. Okay.
Yeah.
So I'm not sure if cancer affects the reproductive organs of the reproductive system of a man. I'm not sure. But I know that because I'm not even sure if it affects women either, because I've seen a female cancer patient that actually got pregnant, and she was going through chemo and radiation, and she did get pregnant, and she had the baby while she had cancer. In fact, the cancer was really bad. She had already shaved her hair and all that. So I don't think it's everybody when it comes to cancer. It might be an individual case, because each person's tolerance is different when it comes to chemo and radiation. I've seen people that went through chemo and radiation and they were fine. You will see them, you won't even know they went through it. And I've seen people that took one or two and they didn't take it well. So it's just like medication. The medication that you are tolerable to, I might not be I might not be able to tolerate it. I don't know if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but that's a very good question. It's something I'm going to deep dive into. And maybe we'll have another discussion on this, like maybe illnesses and how it affects menopause on another round table. But this is a very good point to bring. But I don't think it does affect a male's treatment will affect the female's reproduction. I don't think so.
All right.
I know we have some medics here. Dr. Echo, I can see you, Sister Roti. Dr. B, if anybody knows the answer to this, please unmute and let's learn together, please. My sister's Roti Echo. She's a doctor. Dr. B, I'm trying to see who again I recognize.
I truly don't, but the only thing I honestly really don't know what the link is. The only thing I can talk about is probably sometimes when radiotherapy, especially, and it depends on what part of the brain the rays have been directed to. So it could actually walk around the hypothalamus and the higher processing organs that affect, the end product or the end organs. This is what I'm thinking. Usually radiotherapy and not chemotherapy affects things like that. But I'm not 100% as well. So I put my hands up. You're very right. We need to go look it up and discuss it in another roundtable discussion.
Right.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
I'm actually getting my certification right now, menopause, and I'm going to bring this up with my professor the next time I'm in class. But someone actually put something in the chat. It doesn't affect the reproductive system, male or female, but doctors say that the treatment may affect the healthiness of the sperm or eggs. I think I saw another one before this. I saw another contribution. And we do have another doctor on here, Dr. Guidon.
Mm-hmm.
Sister
Yeah.
Joke, please chip in, help us out here if you know anything.
So there's a contribution that says it doesn't affect pregnancy, just advisable not to get pregnant due to the chemo medication.
Medication. That's what I was looking for. I saw that as well.
Okay.
And I think there's another one that just came in. Okay, that's Dr. Guidon. I still want to add that the natural menopause happened as a result natural biological aging of the reproductive organs. However, the premature menopause could be as a result of other underlying conditions that might not be diagnosed yet. So if a woman is going through early menopause, I'll suggest investigating it rather than taking it as a natural menopause. Okay. Thank you. Thank you, ladies.
We did talk about this in the last session too, that we need to at least ask the doctor. Don't just assume because you're going through or you see these signs.
Sister Jackie, thank you. She's at
we
work,
can just go ahead and believe, oh, I'm going through, premenopause or perimenopause because of the symptoms that I'm saying, that it's always advisable to just ask your doctor. It doesn't hurt if you ask, just to put you on the right path to know exactly what is going on with your body.
Absolutely.
So I hope those questions or those answers are able to help Cynthia, that are able to at least help you a little bit on your thoughts.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Thank you.
You're welcome. So do we have any more questions, or do you have anybody that just want to share just a little bit of what they're going through or their experience as well? It's okay. We're not going to judge you. It's a very free platform.
While we're waiting, if you're in Nigeria, and could you please if you have my personal number, you can go ahead and high-five me for your free data. Or you can send it to my email, damesop@gmail.com, or to +1213 992 1404. I'll type that in the chat.
Okay. And also as well, if you
get free
haven't,
data.
can you say that again? I'm sorry.
So the first 10 people that join from Nigeria get free data, 1,000 naira each.
Yeah. And also if you haven't sent me your email, could you please send me your email? Because we will soon start doing some newsletter emails to sending out newsletter emails to the emails that we have on here. I know I did got some emails from the people that were there the last time that we hosted this. So I would appreciate if you can send your emails to me as well. So I just want to say hello to everybody. If I didn't shout out your name, please don't take it personal. If I don't know who I see Bimbo here, I see Biodun, I see AOL. I don't know who that is. Cynthia, Dr. B, Eunice, Felicia, Mommy Ibiroba, Fumi. I see two Fumis. So whoever you are, thank you for joining. There's a Galaxy S8. I don't know who that is as well. There's Bemi Sola, iPhone 2. Jumi, that's a friend of mine here in the US. Kenny, there's a friend of mine here as well. Thanks, Kenny, for joining. Lola, Meg, Oludayo. That's a friend of mine as well, beautiful friend of mine. Roti, Sister Roti, Tolu, Tony, Braves, Fumilola. I see Eunice is one of my good, cool friends too from high school. I see a lot of my high school friends in here. So thank you all for joining. Looks like we're all aging together. So it's a good thing for us joining here. I'm going to go into the chat real quick and see what we have here. Okay, so that's Cynthia. So please don't forget, if you have anything to say, go ahead and contribute. Valentina, do you still have anything to say?
No, I don't. But I was thinking if we could open the floor for people to actually introduce themselves.
Oh,
Because,
okay.
Yeah.
That's not everybody may want to, but if it's okay.
Oh, in the chat. Let's make this interactive.
Okay. So there's a question from someone here in the chat that says, hot flashes, how can we deal with it? That's a very good one for everybody.
I was going to raise my hand to ask the same question. So thank you.
The first thing right here. Okay, that was a joke, actually. That was a joke. Diet. Diet is the first thing. The first step that this is how I haven't experienced hot flashes yet, but I have my night sweats. And okay, now we're going to go into another topic. So when I got into my perimenopause stage, one of the severe symptoms that I had was night sweats. And of course, that was what made me decide that I wanted to go into to be a health and wellness coach and focus on menopause and get certified as a menopausal health coach. The first thing that I had to do was detox. So I drink a lot. I detox a lot. I don't do, before this, I used to detox maybe once or twice a month. But now I am constantly detoxing. So try and get you a very nice green tea to detox your system. Drink a lot of water. A lot of water. People will say, oh, water doesn't go. I can't drink water. Put something in it. Lemon, cucumber, strawberries, infuse it. But drink a lot of water. I go through at least 5 of this. And how many cl is this? This is 23 ounces.
23, yeah.
At least 5 of this. Look, I've already had this today. I do at least 5, at least a minimum of 5 a day. So drink a lot of water, detox, reduce eating junk food, reduce your sugar. Try and you can actually, I know getting rid of sugar can be difficult for some people, but you can actually ease out of it and start with maybe, Splenda, stevia, honey, natural sugars. Change your diet, make it a lifestyle. Don't just go on a diet because you're menopause and just want to stop hot flashes. You have to make it a lifestyle, because you might be in here for the next 10 years. It might be perimenopause. I know I'm praying I'll be in my perimenopause stage for the next 10 years, because like I keep on hinting, baby, who knows? Okay. So nutrition is the
me, I would be the godmother.
Thank you. Nutrition is the main thing, and exercise. But don't over-exercise. But you also need to bring down your stress level. There are a lot of things that are intertwined when it comes to hot flashes and the other symptoms, the other menopause symptoms. But the main thing is your diet. You need to eat clean. You need to eat clean. Reduce junk food, drink a lot of water, detox, detox, detox. You can never stop detoxing. I tried seed cycling. I mentioned this the last time. It didn't really work for me. Some people swear by it, but it just didn't work for me. But I still eat my seeds, but it just didn't work for me. But one thing that I noticed that actually works also is flaxseed. I used to eat flaxseed before, but when I read about it, I started introducing it more into my meals. So you can introduce it into your yogurt, even into your swallow. If you're making amala, just put a tablespoon of flaxseed into it. So your main thing is nutrition. And of course, you want to have a fan always. Because it's not going to go away. It might ease it, but it's not going to go away.
Well, thank you.
I don't have night sweats every night anymore. And then another thing I think actually contributes to these things is climate. Believe it or not, everybody, I was in Nigeria this summer for 11 weeks. When I got to Nigeria, of course, I went with all my supplements, my D3, my magnesium, everything, my estrogen. I went with all my supplements. I took it for the first 2 days. And then I didn't see the need to take it. I just forgot. I didn't remember. And for the whole 10 weeks, I'll say for a good 10 weeks, I did not take any of the supplements. I was telling my cousin about it. I said, there's something wrong with American hair. I need to find a way to get myself to Nigeria permanently. It's not working for me anymore. And she's on hair. She actually had a similar encounter. She went to the UK. So change of environment could also help. I'm not sure. That I haven't proven that. It's not scientific or anything, but it's what happened to me. The moment I stepped foot back in the US, I had to start taking my supplements again. So I don't know. I honestly don't know what it is. Like I said, it hasn't been proven, but it's something I experienced. So someone was telling me that maybe it's because I wasn't as stressed as, of course, here you're going to be thinking, okay, this bill, you get an email, you get a bill, this bill is due. I have to do this, I have to do this. You're your mechanic, you're the driver, you're the nurse, you're the cook, everything. But in Nigeria, it's, you're still more relaxed. I don't know what it is. So, but I noticed that climate change. I'm due for another vacation very soon. I'm going to see what happens. If I don't have to take my supplements and I don't get the symptoms as hard as I get it here, then I know that definitely climate change also helps.
Well, thank you. Thank you so much for sharing. So I'm going to go through the chat real quick. So this is Sister Tolu says, I'm 4 years post, not wanting sex at all is a major issue. Then Sister Roti kind of responded to her saying, yes, it was at a time for me too, but with a lot of patience and therapy, I was able to get through it to a better time. Then at the same time, Sister Tolu responded saying, my husband has been begging me to go to therapy for the past 3.5 years. Don't know why I haven't gone, but I'll put more effort now that you mentioned it helped. Thanks. So thanks for Sister Roti for recommending therapy. So I'm going to go, I'll also continue. So there was another question that says, sleeplessness would this be one of the symptoms, like waking up at the particular time in the midnight and finding it difficult to go back to bed?
Yes.
Join the circle here.
Insomnia is one of the symptoms of perimenopause. Am I on mute? Insomnia is one of the symptoms of perimenopause and menopause. Sometimes if you find yourself waking up around 2 a.m., 3 a.m. or 4 a.m. and you can't seem to get back to sleep, definitely it's one of the symptoms. Melatonin helps.
Yeah.
Melatonin is natural. It's not like Valium. I've seen a lot of people that will tell me melatonin doesn't do anything for me. If I use 10 milligrams of melatonin at 8 p.m., I'm not waking up until 7 a.m. the next morning. So it helps. For me, it helps and it relaxes me. You can also try chamomile tea. That also relaxes you. Also, another thing that you might want to look at if you're not sleeping well, look at your room. Is there distraction? I don't keep TVs in my room. I don't keep wall clocks in my room. Forever. I've done this since I was in my 20s because I read it somewhere that it's a distraction for sleep. And I realized that it really is. So if you do have such things as such distractions in your room, you might want to get it away. If your phone is something that distracts you, if you're the person that gets on, you pick up your phone, and once you get on WhatsApp, you can't sleep again, turn your phone off or put it on silence or charge it in another room.
Okay.
So those are the things. Well, yes, definitely insomnia is one of the symptoms of menopause.
And also agreeing with what you said, my doctor actually recommended melatonin for me too. And is it camel something tea? I still don't know how to pronounce that.
Yeah.
That the tea that you mentioned, those are the things that my doctor actually recommended for me. I'm going to just quickly jump back into the chat here. Sister Ronti also said a fan in all my bags helped as well. And I always sit next to hair conditioning wherever I go. Thank you, Auntie. That's a good one. So I'm going to go all the way down and see. So Sister Lola here says, for hot flashes, ladies, try sage tea. Yes. Really good. Not too tasty though. So that's a recommendation. So if you want to try that, sage tea is good. You can give it a try. Let us know how you feel. Since this is going to be a continuous monthly session, you can come back and let us know, okay, you tried this recommendation and it works, or if it does not work, we want to hear from you as well. Sister Kenny here says, I can testify to the climate. I can testify to the climate change one. I don't get it that bad when I travel to Nigeria or someplace else. That doesn't stress me. It has happened to me both in Nigeria and in the UK. So yes, to climate change and no stress.
I'm not alone. Hey. Thank you.
Another recommendation that she's given here is so climate change is it's a good one.
Excuse for
So that's somebody agreeing with you, Valentina. So here's another suggestion. She said, reduce spicy food and caffeine. I wish I could listen to my own advice, but I have had people tell me it helps. I know Kenny and caffeine is 2 and 3. and a beautiful coffee is 2 and 3. Yes. So she said reduce spicy food and caffeine. And also, sister, let me just go back and see. I'm just following the chat here. So pardon me if I don't get to yours. So Sister Cynthia here says, how can you know when you are going through menopause stage? So that is a question that was asked in the last session that we had. There's so much symptoms. And when we did talk about the overview, we make mention of so many things. The last session that we have, you can watch it. It's on Dame's Hub on YouTube. It's on Wellness and Circle on YouTube. So if you can just go ahead and rewatch that episode, that would be great. There's so much symptoms that shows up when you're going through, perimenopause. I would say not a lot of people go through menopause directly. So I think we first go through perimenopause before jumping into menopause. And some people, like Valentina said earlier, some people get induced right away to it because of all these root causes, like the surgery that she made mention about. So those are some of the things that kind of make us kind of jump directly into menopause. Yeah, so I'm just going to quickly scan through the chat here to see if we have more. And it looks like we don't. Yeah. Okay. Okay. So yeah, and I want to just thank everybody for coming in and joining us today. It's been a very wonderful session. Because of the people that lives, in Nigeria and UK, we're trying as much as possible to just reduce the time to just 1 hour, so we can be able to cover both the topics and as well as answer questions like we just did right now. And this is going to be like a monthly session on the women and menopause. If we have much more requests, we can make it more than one, but definitely if you follow any of the platform, either Wellness and Circle or Dames Hub, you will get to know if we have any more additional sessions in a month. But for now, it's going to be just once a month. And you will definitely see the adverts and the flyers when we're ready for another session. So if you have any question, please let us know. Once again, I want to thank you all for coming here. I'm learning from everybody as I come here every time that this session is on. Even though I'm the host, I'm still learning. And that is one of the main reasons why we're here, just to learn from each other. Because I may be going through something right now that I think is just me, only me going through it, that I feel so scared about it. But when I hear somebody else talk about it, it just gives me that satisfaction, and it gives me that calmness that, hey, it's not just me, somebody else too is going through it. So it's kind of give me that little, I don't know what word to use right now. It's my brain fog is one of what I've been going through recently. Valentina, she just recommended some stuff for me recently on the brain fog. It's been crazy of recent. I just freeze on my words or remember what to say, even though I see it right in front of me. So thank you so much, everybody, for coming. If you have any questions, please let us know. And we'll take it from here. Valentina, do you have anything to say to just close things up?
Yes. Thank you for joining us. Really appreciate your time. Means so much to us. I would just like to encourage us, especially the women. Menopause is not an illness. It's not an ailment. It's actually a grace. I see it as a divine grace to be able to experience it, because it means I'm growing. I'm still alive. So do not be shy to talk about it. If for whatever reason you have questions you don't feel like asking, like I am very vocal, I'll ask any question anywhere, right? But it's not everybody that is open book like that. And you just need to talk to someone in confidence. Please reach out to me. At Dames Hub is my platform. You can send me a WhatsApp message. Call me if you have my number. If you don't, please go on Instagram, Facebook, look for Dames Hub. I put both the handle of Dames Hub and Wellness Circle in the chat. Send me a DM. Reach out to me. I will give you a free session. All right. I will give you a free session. I'll hold your hand. And we can actually live life to the fullest, whether we're in a perimenopause stage, menopause, or post-menopause stage. And we need to start living our life to the fullest, because I understand that this is a topic that most of our mothers didn't discuss with us. They all remember to tell us how not to get pregnant, but they didn't tell us what will happen after, after we make babies or we get to that age. It's not their fault. Now that we know, we need to educate ourselves and educate each other, educate one another, hold each other's hands, and live a full life. Yeah. Thank you. Till another time, we appreciate you.
Thank you, Valentina. There's a question in the chat that says, are men allowed to join? Yes, why not? Actually, I would appreciate it if men are here so they can also learn what we are going through, so they can also understand our body. Like Sister Ronti said that, I think it was Sister Ronti or Sister Tolu that says her husband actually recommend her going to see a therapist, but she's been like holding it off all this while and not. But the fact that she heard some other woman say, another woman saying, oh, she visited a therapist, kind of opened her mind up, or opened that part up for her to go and see a therapist. So I would appreciate if the men can join as well, so they can as well learn. So when we act a certain way, they know what's going on with us. When we start complaining about something, so they can know what is going on with us, and they can be able to have much patience in dealing with us at that particular stage as well. So I see Kenny's hand is up. Kenny, do you really want to open up your mic and let us in? I mean, and say what you want.
Yeah, sorry. Yeah, so I see you talk about perimenopause and menopause. So how do you know which stage you are? How do you know if you're in your perimenopause or if it's menopause? Or I mean, is there a symptom difference between the perimenopause and menopause? I guess that's my question. How do you know?
So as I stated earlier, when you're in your perimenopause stage, you get some symptoms. You might get all the symptoms, but you still see your periods. Your period might be regular, they might be irregular. You might have your period there might be playing tricks on you. You might have it this month, not have it for the next 2 months, or you might have it all through. Once you don't see your period for 12 calendar months in a row, 12 consecutive months, then you've hit the menopause stage. At that stage, you can't make babies naturally anymore. You can have IVF, but you can't make babies up naturally anymore. So that's the difference. So perimenopause stage, you still have the symptoms of menopause, and some of the symptoms might actually be worse because your body's just changing. You're just starting to experience this body changes, but you're still seeing your periods. But once you stop seeing your periods for 12 months consecutively, then you have reached the M stage.
Mm-hmm.
Even at the age of 48?
Yes.
Absolutely.
Age doesn't really matter.
Age has nothing to do with it. Menopause doesn't discriminate when it comes to age.
Okay. Yeah. Good to know. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Don't be scared, Kenny. Okay, thanks everyone for coming. I think it's the best time for us to close it here so we can have people go get ready for work tomorrow. And thanks a lot, everybody, for coming here. We will let you know when the next session is going to be. Like I said earlier, it's going to be once in a month for now. But if we have the cause to come in more than one time, we can always, you can always see it in the platforms, our social media platforms. Thank you so much. I've learned so much today. And I believe that every session that we have, that I'm going to learn more. And like Valentina said, we are growing together. These are the things that our parents or our mom didn't teach us when we were younger. And I think it's time for us to start opening up more and learning more from each other, opening up more and learning more symptoms, and actually holding each other's hands while we walk the journey together. So thank you all for coming today, and hope to see you the next time. Remember to bring a lady, bring a friend to bring a friend, refer a friend to refer a friend in the next one. Thanks, everyone, and have a wonderful rest of the week. Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Bye, bye, bye. Thanks, Jimmy. Thanks, everybody.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you.
Thank you, Nis. Thanks, everybody.
Bye,
Bye.
everyone.
Bye.
Oh.
So I'm gonna end. So Valentina, please hold on.
End the recording.
Yeah, I'm good.